Let's take now a look at some of the fields where deep learning is applied. Having now kind of analyzed the advantages of deep learning, the benefits of deep learning, you can easily see that there are multiple areas where such machine learning models can be highly effective. One of these is one that we've already mentioned, is language translation. In fact, it is one of the fields where deep learning models have proved to be equal to, if not even superior in some cases, to humans. Language translation is obviously the task of taking one input text into a given language and translating that into an output text in another language. Another area of application is image recognition. And the types of examples that we have shown you when discussing the comparison, for example, between classical machine learning and deep learning, we're showing how to apply deep learning to images and how deep learning is capable of automatically extracting increasingly complex features out of those images. So image recognition is a clear area where deep learning has a lot of positive results. Speech recognition is another area. Remember, speech is basically translated when it's saved into its numerical format. It is translated into a time series based information. And learning the different patterns that occur over there is key to perform effective speech recognition tasks, and that's where deep learning found its applications. But in fact, deep learning is also being increasingly used in other types of time series based machine learning tasks, like, for example, forecasting, and we will discuss a little bit later about these approaches. It is also used with a lot of positive results in areas like predictive analytics, and obviously, when you combine some of these approaches like image recognition and speech recognition and reinforcement learning, you can get to fields like autonomous vehicles, where deep learning really shines in terms of its applications. But obviously, these are not this is not a complete list of areas where deep learning can be applied. There are much more. In fact, the list of deep learning applications increases almost every single day. Here's an example of applying deep learning in text analytics. You can, for example, apply deep learning to understand semantics in text. For example, detecting meaning or detecting sentiment in text. You can apply it to do summarization, like the extraction of key phrases, the extraction of entities, the detection of topics. Automate these document summarizations are applications of deep learning in text analytics. And then obviously there is the classification, where you can do binary or multi-class classification or even multi-label classification. You can also apply deep learning in text analytics for clustering tasks, like, for example, identifying similarity between terms, identifying similarity between different documents, and hence also do document clustering, where the task is to classify text documents into groups that have maybe similar meaning or similar content or another type of metric of your choice. So as you can see, deep learning has a wide range of applications, and all of these have been fueled by the spectacular increase of performance of deep learning machine learning models, which in turn was fueled by the spectacular increase in the hardware resources that were available. So as of today, deep learning has a large number of applications, which makes deep learning one of the hottest and most important areas for both applications and academic research in machine learning.